So normally Anton. Welcome to this, our 40th episode of Apex Instant Tips, coming to you live every Friday at 12:05 Eastern Time for 5 minutes only from Massachusetts. My name is Hayden. This week I'm flying solo without Anton's trusty aid, but I am lucky to be graced with the presence of my friend and colleague, Dave Schleis. Welcome, Dave.
Hi, Hayden. I'm coming to you live from the proximity of Madison, Wisconsin.
A distant region.
Yes, far away and removed from reality anyway.
Well, Dave, I know you know the format of the show. It's all about delivering a tip within 5 minutes. We have teased on Twitter that we are going to share with the audience how we're going to instantly create audit tables for our applications. So the floor is yours as soon as you're ready.
Well, instant might be a bit of an overstretch, but it's close. It's very close. So I think I'm ready. Could you please display my screen?
Let's do it.
All right. And we're going to start the timer and
Yes.
Go. So has
Very
this ever happened to you? You have an application in production. It's going fine. Then one day the business users come to you and say something like, there's something wrong. We need to know who changed this record. And you say, well, fortunately, we have this audit capability within the application. You click on the audit button and it shows you who changed the application and when.
Right.
And they're like, that's not good enough. Our KPIs, our MIA, I need to know who changed this and when and why and what it was before. So you say to them, well, had we had this discussion previously, that would already be part of the application. But since you're coming to us now, we can give you that capability in a very short time.
Right.
And this is how it's done. So using Oracle SQL Developer, you open up the schema to what you are, where the tables are located that you want to have this full and complete audit tabling on. And then we have this, and what we want to do is, I am using the latest version of SQL Developer, but that's not necessary. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up the data modeler portion of it, and we're going to import the data dictionary.
Nice.
And we select our connection. We select our connection.
And it's supposed to allow you to click next at this point, right?
There it is.
Small delay.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay, I should be able to take that time off my clock, but we'll just keep going. It's like I will reserve my time in the Senate. So I'm broadcasting. So we choose the tables that we're going to import.
Very good.
It's going to import 3 tables. Depending on the number of tables you select here, this generation time is going to be longer if you have more tables.
And this is not building your triggers just yet.
It is not. All I'm doing is taking the physical model stored in the database, bringing it into the designer portion or the developer data modeler portion of SQL Developer and creating a physical model and a relational model. And this is taking longer than it did in practice.
You have 3 tables.
Here they come. I'm sure they're coming any minute now.
The data modeler section of SQL Developer is one that I am not very familiar with.
Well, fortunately, I am. So what I can tell you is that when you are working in the SQL Developer and not the specific data modeler tool, this is really taking much longer than it should. The data modeler menu selections are typically located at the top of the menu selections. However, in File, you'll notice that data modeler is buried here in the middle. Not sure why this is, but it is a feature.
So, just out of curiosity, you have previously generated this design in practice.
I did, and I got.
So theoretically, you could skip this step, right?
Unfortunately, I did not save that just so I could make this as real as possible.
So is there any purpose in downloading the standalone data modeler application if
The
you have...
advantages of using the standalone data modeler are if you're going to be doing data modeling a lot, it provides a separate memory space, a separate Java memory heap, and all of that kind of thing. And otherwise, the tool is the same. I think we need to have... Okay, I've only got 46 seconds left. Well, what's going to happen? This was supposed to work much better.
The challenges of live demos.
Yeah, now I'm just panicking. So what you will do?
We were talking a big game about having the quickest.
I can yeah, so much for that. I can show you what I was going to do.
Sure, let's do that.
So okay, so in Tools, Data Modeler, we go to Design Rules and Transformations and Table DDL Transformations. Right. Now in here, you'll see that it wants to generate journal tables. This is the default setting. And what you have here...
Journaling is, of course, like a synonym for auditing.
Journaling comes from... Okay, here goes my timer. I guess I lose. Okay, so journaling is from... Oracle Designer had a capability where you could just select journaling, and journaling is their term for full audit capabilities.
Right.
And within Data Modeler here, we can create a before create script instead of create. After create, this is where the journaling actually takes place. And then there's a end of script. So instead of creating a table here, we want to do something like wake up your keyboard.
A little hack there, okay.
We just hack this in there. This language here is JavaScript. So we need a JavaScript comment. And then what you would do is you would go to File, Data Modeler, Export, DDL file. And this should be my model. Oh, look, it did something. That's not what I wanted. File, Data Modeler, Export. We're going to export the DDL file.
Oh, it looks like the relational generation completed.
It looks like it may have. So we go through here. Okay, those are the tables that I wanted. We do not want to generate primary or unique constraints. We do not want to generate indexes. If you were actually generating a full table, you would absolutely want these things. But we're interested only in the journal tables. So here we want to include the DDL scripts and the journal tables. Got it. So we'll click on these and then we'll say okay. And then I hope this happens quicker. And there they are. So what we get is a journal table for all three tables. Within here, there's a note section, an application section. So you can actually, and automatically the session. So you can modify your application so that you force users to enter notes when changes are made. And you run this and it creates this trigger that will do the insert, update, delete of the base table. So you have complete auditing of every one of your tables. And I am 3 minutes and 30 seconds over. No, 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Well, let's...
One more thing. Sorry, one more thing. Yeah. So you would attach this table to a interactive report in your Apex application with the correct security, and then you're done. Okay, I am 3 minutes over.
Yes. So hopefully our audience will forgive going a little bit over time. We promised 5-minute tip, but I think it was worth it to stick around for those extra few minutes because I think that's a very cool tip. Auditing is something that is relevant to my day-to-day developing life. So for those of you who came for just the 5 minutes, this is your opportunity to finally escape without feeling rude. Please like and subscribe on your way out. We will now take some audience questions, and I told
this was
Dave
coming.
not only did I know this question was coming, but I knew who would ask it. So, Rich Soul, you're reliable, if nothing else. Yeah. So, what do you have a response to this, Dave?
The response would be that I think doing something like that would take more than 5 minutes.
Yes.
Where this, obviously, implementing this within your application will take more than 5 minutes, but it is a lot more low code than coding for using Flashback Data Archive, which would take new skills that not everyone possesses, knowledge of the Flashback Data Archive, whereas this is all just straight tables and triggers and stuff that we've been doing for quite a while.
Right. And let's see if Rich has a response to that. I certainly agree. I've actually only ever used Flashback Data Archive in one project, and it did require me to learn some new SQL syntax. Whereas this
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, this approach, of course, is perhaps more comforting in that it involves concepts that I'm more familiar with. Actually, Rich, that is a great idea. I like that. We should definitely do a tip on Flashback Data Archive. Dave, are you familiar with any other auditing? So short of using data modeler to generate your auditing triggers and tables, are there any other methodologies that you are familiar with or that you can recommend?
This is the one that I use personally. It came from back in the olden days when there was a tool called Oracle Designer, and the journaling was part of your choices of when you were generating your data, your DDL. The other options, I think, are, until recently, the history capabilities within Quick SQL, and as you found out recently, that has disappeared but is destined to be replaced.
Yes. So obviously not for me to say, but it is a fact that for those of you who are familiar with this, in Quick SQL, there used to be the /history command to generate audit tables for a given table. That has since been removed as of 21.1. So, but I suspect that some different version of that is upcoming.
Very good. Good news.
Yes. And Devati is saying that you can have a script that takes a table name as the parameter and spits out the script for audit, table, and trigger. I am familiar. I think this describes several methodologies that I've seen. I know that Connor McDonald has such an approach. But I think this also is pretty descriptive of what you just demonstrated, Dave, wouldn't you say?
It is, and you don't have to write the script that does the spitting.
Yes, that's right. It's yeah, to your point, this is very low code in that you wrote, I think the only code I saw you write was / do nothing.
Don't do this, yeah. That was it. That was the code. Good point. And yeah, that's low. That's really low.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that.
Excellent.
Well, we'll have to have you back again, Dave. Maybe next time you'll actually hit the 5-minute mark.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, that live shows definitely have their pitfalls.
Yeah.
But thanks again, Dave, and thanks
You're
again
very
to our
welcome.
audience for joining us. Without further ado, I will again remind people to like and subscribe on their way out, and I will see everybody next Friday.
I won't. Sorry, guys. Have a great week, and
take care.
Bye.